Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're playing some Call of Duty World War II, a game that released back in 2017 that had a bit of a rocky launch, releasing in a, let's say, not ideal state. Some of the changes to the Call of Duty formula weren't too welcomed by the community at the time, but throughout the months after release, Sledgehammer Games actually did a bit of an overhaul to the game that improved the game's multiplayer drastically, at least in my opinion and the opinion of many other players. They made significant changes to weapons and the create a class system that were very, very good for the game. Most of the changes made the game a lot more fast-paced and felt a bit more fluid. That's the best way I can describe it. It didn't lock any certain weapon attachments to specific divisions, score streaks received some much-needed changes, and the game now remains one of the more solid Call of Duty titles out there. Definitely not something I would say about the game at launch. World War II's overhaul came as a bit of a surprise because rarely do Call of Duty games get an overhaul on this level. Usually the game stays in about the same state as launch with just a few balance patches and DLC added throughout the year. So I really gotta commend Sledgehammer Games for turning this game around. Cod World War II became a game that I really enjoy coming back to, and with Sledgehammer's upcoming game also being set in World War II, I thought now would be the perfect time to come back to the game and show it off because, at least so far, I find the gameplay to be a lot more fun than the Vanguard beta was. Not that I'm saying Vanguard will suck, but I wasn't quite feeling the game during my time with the beta. I hope things change by the time it releases, but right now I'm just not feeling the game. But like I said, World War II released in 2017, meaning the game is around 4 years old at this point, but the game holds up surprisingly well in 2021, with a somewhat active player base, as I found no problems finding matches even a couple days ago on Xbox One. Now, I ended up having a few pretty good games on Vanguard, one of which was the Shipment 1944 gameplay you're watching in the background. But now let's transition to probably the best game I had of the night on Valkyrie. The map was called Valkyrie, and I'm using the Thompson submachine gun. It's a kill confirmed match, which is not my favorite game mode, honestly, guys. But I had a ton of fun. The final score was probably one of my best in the game. Nothing probably too spectacular. I'm not the best COD player in the world or anything, but I had a lot of fun. And again, the final score, I think, reflects that because it was, again, one of my best games, not just of the night, but probably ever on this game. And like I said, I'm using the Thompson submachine gun, one of my favorite guns to use ever since COD World War. And guys, I've been playing Call of Duty since COD 4. Back in 2009 was when I got into Call of Duty. And it was just before Modern Warfare 2 came out, so I played COD 4 and World at War. And then once Modern Warfare 2 came out, obviously I played a ton of that game, got way into it, played a lot with my friends and things like that. Most people in the COD community's favorite game is Modern Warfare 2. I really loved it personally, but then Black Ops came out, and that game is probably my favorite in the entire series. I think Black Ops 1 is kind of the perfect Call of Duty package. I mean, the campaign was outstanding, and then the multiplayer was, of course, incredible and addictive, and I just absolutely loved it. Treyarch always kills it when it comes to the multiplayer. And then, of course, Zombies. Zombies in Black Ops 1 was also really good. I don't know if it's the best in the series. I think Black Ops 2 is probably the best in the series. I think, like the Mob of the Dead and Origins were really, really good maps. And Buried, oh man, how can I forget Buried? I played so many hours of Buried with my friends. But that being said, guys, I think that Black Ops 1 still probably is my favorite Call of Duty game, just because it is the complete package. Again, I think that it just nailed every single aspect of the game. Then it was on to Modern Warfare 3, a game that was kind of divisive. A lot of people didn't like it for understandable reasons. I think the maps were pretty poor for the most part, and some of the balancing was a little off. The spawn system, I remember being notoriously bad in that game, but I really had a lot of fun with it, getting Moabs, and I think that all the weapons were really, really strong and kind of like overpowered. All of them were very usable. And I had a lot of fun with Modern Warfare 3. The campaign, again, was also pretty good in that game, wrapping up the Modern Warfare series. Survival was okay, I guess. It could be fun, I guess, but nowhere near as fun as Zombies, obviously. And then it was on to Black Ops 2. And again, another game that was pretty much the complete package. It had an outstanding campaign. Again, the zombies were phenomenal. And the multiplayer was just as addicting as it ever has been for me. I played quite a few hours of Black Ops 2 as well. And this is kind of when my love for Call of Duty started to dwindle a bit, because after COD Ghosts released, that was probably the first year that I really took a bit of a break from the series. I played COD Ghosts off and on throughout the year, but it was just kind of a disaster, and I didn't buy any of the DLC, which was a first for me. But actually, I hear that the COD Ghost DLC was really good. It had some unique things about it, like Michael Myers map and like a few other crazy, outlandish maps that were very fun, I guess, in design. But the core gameplay didn't really hold my attention long enough for me to actually get into the DLC maps. And then after that, we had, of course, Advanced Warfare, which was Sledgehammer's first attempt at creating a COD game on their own. And that didn't go over too well. I think a lot of people didn't like the direction of a very futuristic and like bunny hopping and boost jumping around type of Call of Duty game. But Treyarch kind of brought things back a little bit and dialed back the advanced movement in their next game, Black Ops 3. It still was very boost jumpy. It had a lot of the Titanfall, wall running, and kind of jumping mechanics, but it did a better job, I think, with the advanced mechanics. And Black Ops 3 also had a phenomenal zombies game mode, and the multiplayer was fairly fun. I didn't play it a whole lot, but the campaign was a complete train wreck. That was terrible. But again, I didn't really play a lot of Black Ops 3. I just don't think it really was my cup of tea at the end of the day. The next year, though, was Infinite Warfare, probably the most hated game in the series. I think the campaign was pretty cool, but the multiplayer definitely did not please pretty much anyone. But thankfully, in that year, they also released the remaster of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first COD 4 game, and that was great. I played a lot of that because I love COD 4. It's probably my next favorite COD game after Black Ops 1. I think it's just got probably some of the best maps and just it's very simple, and I really like that aspect of the game. Obviously, being released in 2007 is kind of the first big mainstream COD. Obviously, COD 1, 2, and 3 were very popular, but COD 4 was kind of a game changer for the entire gaming industry. And the remaster was great. It felt just like the original, but with a new coat of paint. Very, very good looking graphics. And it was nice that all the playlists were populated again on that game. And of course, they added some new game modes that were in the other Call of Duty games as well. And I played that game throughout the entire year probably. But now we come to COD World War II, where it's a return to boots on the ground. Finally, people have been asking for this for a long time after these long series of advanced movement games since 2014, and also a return to World War II for the first time since COD World at War. So it's a pretty big deal, and I remember I was very excited initially for the launch of the game, and after it came out, like I said in the early part of the video, it was a little bit disappointing in terms of the gameplay. I think that maybe some of the maps and the balancing just felt very off, and I still think the maps are probably not the strongest part of the game, and it launched only with, I think, 9 multiplayer maps, or maybe 8, probably the lowest in the entire series, so it got boring a little bit quickly. But like I said, after they did the big overhaul and massive amount of changes to the core gameplay, it was incredible, and I played quite a bit of COD World War II. I think it was probably maybe 6 months after the game released when they finally put all of the changes in. And I played quite a bit of it throughout 2017. I didn't even bother picking up Black Ops 4 because it just didn't look like something I'd enjoy. And at this point, my love for Call of Duty was starting to die down a little bit more. So it was kind of the only COD game I played throughout even 2018 off and on. And I really want to know your thoughts on COD World War II because I really like this game. I think that it was really good, especially after the overhaul. Let me know if you guys even stuck around to the overhaul or if you came back to the game and played the overhauled version of World War II. Again, it is a very good COD game. One of the best, at least in my opinion, in the multiplayer aspect. The zombies were just okay, nothing special. The campaign was kind of cool. It had some really cool moments, but for the most part, it just kind of felt like a standard COD game. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and I will see you all next time.